What's going on, guys? It's your boy Kev here, back with another video. Tonight we're doing some more NBA prize picks. As you guys know, I do just about every single night now, so let's get right into it, guys. If you're new to the channel or new to Prizepicks is essentially a daily fantasy sports platform where instead of picking players, you pick the overs and unders on the projections of players. So as you can see, they have Damien Lillard projected at 52 points. I can either take the over or under on that, depending how I think he's going to do, and I pair that with another player, so it's kind of like a parlay. I can do that 2, 3, 4, or 5 times. It's pretty cool. I like that a lot, that you can pair, as many as you want, and then obviously the more more risk you do, the more reward you get, and obviously it's a little bit harder to hit a 5-player parlay, but big money, big rewards there, so we love to see that. And my favorite aspect is, I bring this up every time, guys, you can do it between different sports. So say I did want to take the over on Dame at 52. I can switch over to NFL and pair that with Mahomes at 25.5 or Tom Brady at 21. Do it throughout the sports. I think that's so cool that you can do that. Also, they just started adding some single stats, or whatever it is called, single stat boards. Yeah, so you can pick over and unders on rushing yards, touchdowns, stuff like that. So it's really cool that they allow you to do that now. Absolutely love that aspect too. And as you can see here, they're running a promo right now where if you deposit, you can get up to 100% of your deposit matched up to $100. So that's pretty cool. That's $100 free money if you want to do the full 100. So I would absolutely recommend doing that. That's what I did. If you do sign up for it, guys, please use code DGF, obviously standing for Daily Grind Fantasy. Really helps us, really supports the channel, and we absolutely notice, guys, we see it every time when you guys do sign up. So please do that. It really helps the channel a lot, and we really appreciate it. But let's get right into these prize picks, guys. A lot of the same players, actually, or no, I shouldn't say a lot, but 2 or 3 guys that we talked about last night, which is good, though, because we can see how they did tonight and kind of see how the picks went. So, moving on to the first player here, we just talked about Damien Lillard. We'll go right to him. I'm going to avoid Damien Lillard at 52 points. I would actually lean under just a little bit because of how high that is. 52 points I still think is a lot for him, even though he's an obviously phenomenal player. But, I will probably avoid that for Dame just because, to be honest, it's a cupcake of a matchup, and I just hate that he's going just about against just about the worst defense in the NBA in Houston, and that's going to make me avoid him because he probably only hits that 52-point mark about a third of the time. But again, going up such a cupcake defense, that's going to push him right into that near even line. So that's one I definitely want to avoid, as it's pretty unpredictable. Moving on to John Wall at 38 points. I'm going to go under on John Wall, honestly. His usage has dropped so much. It's ridiculous. Even considering his season high of 47, I think his usage was 47 last game, 47%. So that was absolutely crazy to see. But, before that it was, in the 20s, and just it's sinking like a rock. So I definitely think, he's someone who's on a cold streak. He has been under 38 points as a result of that usage drop in 4 of his last 5 games. And that one game he hit over the 4 of the 5, he hit it by half a point, so it's not like he smoked it. I definitely think under for 38 is the smarter bet on John Wall. Moving on to Cantor at 36. I'm probably just going to avoid Cantor at 36, to be honest. Now that he's a starter with Nurkic out, it's hard to put a value on him, to be honest. Especially considering he's only been he has been under 28 points in 2 of his last games. 2 of his last 4 rather. So he's been under 28 points in 2 of his last 4, which obviously seems like that's hard concrete data. But then you look at the other 2 games in his last 4, and he was over 50 points. So that is absolute insanity. It's really hard to kind of find out where this guy is skill-wise as a starter, or more so point projection-wise as a starter. So it's definitely one I want to avoid just for that volatility reason. Moving on to Grant, someone we talked about last night. I avoided him last night, and I think it was too accurate of a price tag, and he's always just right around this mark. That came true tonight. He hit 39 points, so super accurate. He's 39 points again. What do you guys think I'm going to do? Same thing. I'm going to avoid him. Just too accurate around that price tag. He's constantly over, under, and he's just right around that mark either way. So I think that's too accurate, and I will avoid him. Moving on to Serge Ibaka. Serge at 30, to be honest, I usually hate to take Serge, especially like at 30 points, which isn't very high, but just, as a player, he's been under that a ton of times this year, more times than not. And he's facing the 3rd-ranked defense in the NBA right now against power forwards in Miami. That being said, we got Kawhi, we got Paul George out, and Patrick Beverley's out now too. So I'm going to have to take the over at a very, reachable 30 points. Like I said, it's not that high. It is reachable. For him, it's a little bit harder to reach than some other players. But again, with all those players out right now, for COVID reasons or what have you, it's going to be just, I think you got to take the over at 30 for him. He did play tonight with them out, and he did hit over. So, there's a little bit of the, proof in the pudding. So like to see that. Bam was on the slate last night. I said to avoid him last night. He had a super favorable matchup tonight, and I still said to avoid him for inconsistency reasons, and he scored 29 points tonight. At a 44-point projection yesterday, he scored 29 points. So he's super spotty, and I think he smoked it the last 2 games before tonight. I think he was over 44. So nail on the head, guys. I'm telling you, this guy is so inconsistent. I would just avoid him again. Even with players still out on that team. Moving on, we have Reggie Jackson. Reggie Jackson is interesting at 36. With all those players out I just mentioned before for Surge, it's intriguing. I mean, he's someone who definitely capitalized with those players out. He had 39 minutes, which is absolutely crazy. I mean, that's almost twice as many minutes as he was averaging earlier in the year. He had 47 points because of that. That's awesome. But we've only seen him as a starter twice this year. One of those times he was pretty under 36. Last time I just told you, last night he was at, or whatever it was, last game he was 47 points. So 1 over, 1 under. Still kind of hard to see his value. I mean, obviously this time all the studs are out. I mean, he's really not fighting too many people for minutes. I mean, and too many people for touches. I mean, is using football terms, but you know what I'm saying with Serge Ibaka, but it's still, that's just, I don't know. It's still hard to find exactly what his value is. So at 36, I'd probably just avoid him. Moving on, we got Steph Curry. Steph Curry's currently playing right now as I record this. Steph is actually in the second quarter of his game, but I will tell you right now, he's not on pace for 48 points tonight. Unless he turns it around, he is not on pace for 48 right now. Regardless of tonight, I'm going to take the under on Steph, or for Steph at 48 points. I mean, not counting tonight, he's been under 6 of his last 8 games, and you guys know 70% is usually my mark. That's a mark of 75%, so that's going to work just fine for me. And like I said, if he falls under tonight, which he's on pace to, that obviously percentage will go up even higher. So I will go under on Steph, and I think that is safer than picking over. So that's the video, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. Just a quick recap: Steph Curry, I'm going to take the under at 48. Reggie Jackson, I'm going to avoid. Gun to my head, I would say over, just because all those studs out, and obviously he absolutely cruised with it last time. Bam, I'm going to avoid again. Surge, I think you can take the slight over just for, again, all those studs out. Grant, I'm going to avoid again. Cantor, what did I say on Cantor? I think, yeah, Cantor I'm going to avoid just because those, like I said, he's the one who had those 4 games that were just like a couple 28s and then a couple 50s, and it's like, whoa, okay, that makes no sense. So I'm going to avoid Cantor. John Wall, I'm going to go under on, as I talked about. He's consistently under that mark. 4 of the last 5 games, and the one he hit over was just barely. And then for Dame, I am going to avoid just at 52 points. I think it's too high of a price point for him, and like I said, I would actually take the under on that, except it's such a favorable matchup, so I just want to avoid it altogether. So thank you guys for tuning in. Again, if you did like the video, and you please subscribe, smash that notification bell, and shoot it a like, and comment, guys. I'd love to see who you guys are picking, how the picks are going, and hopefully I'm winning you guys some money. I love to absolutely hear your success, and if you do sign up for Prizepicks, again, please use code DGF. We really really appreciate the support, guys, so really do notice it every single time you do as well. So thank you guys for tuning in. We got some more content this week, more NBA. I know Matt and TJ have been crushing the live streams every single night for NBA. I popped in tonight, looked at some of the questions you guys were asking. I love it. I love to see you guys all focused in, trying to get that leverage on the field. So good job, guys. Thank you for tuning in. And as always, let's cash.